From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, March 12th. Happy Friday, everybody. We are going to have a nice and dry day today with highs in the upper 50s before some cooler air moves in for your weekend. Tomorrow, Saturday, highs in the low 50s. Sunday, we'll reach the upper 40s. So get ready for a damp and cool start for next week as well.
There is hope and light of better days ahead. If we all do our part, this country will be vaccinated soon.
With an eye on the future, President Biden is selling his pandemic plan to Americans, first addressing the nation in prime time. And today, a Rose Garden ceremony to sign his $1.9 trillion relief plan. Next week, he and Vice President Kamala Harris will hit the road to talk about the benefits of the stimulus. And this morning, there is a new timeline to get more people vaccinated. The president is giving some specifics about when and how he wants all Americans to be able to get the vaccine. There are some unknowns still. Every state has different vaccine rollout plans, including Indiana. It's not up to the federal government, but the president made it clear that he wants all adult Americans to be eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine by May 1st, finally giving people across the country some specific dates of hope 1 year into this pandemic.
If we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day.
The deadlines offer distinct time frames for Americans searching for a sign that the worst year is almost over. The president says the virus, which has killed more than 530,000 Americans, has been different for everyone. But we all lost something. Now he wants to get vaccines to people faster and is deploying 4,000 more active duty troops to support vaccination efforts. He'll also allow more people like medical students, veterinarians, and dentists to deliver those shots. Biden talked about how he believes the nearly $2 trillion COVID relief package he signed into law yesterday afternoon is going to help restore normalcy to American life. Plus, there's a massive nationwide effort to reopen schools safely and a federal new website to help people find places to get vaccinated. But the president says this plan is only possible if all of us commit to getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
Beating this virus and getting back to normal depends on national unity. And national unity isn't just how politics and politicians vote in Washington, or what the loudest voices say on cable or online. Unity is what we do together as fellow Americans.
Biden says this fight against the pandemic is far from over, but people are waking up today with at least some clear dates on the calendar to look forward to. So let's now break down the billions Indiana will get in the newly passed pandemic relief bill that President Biden is set to sign into law. The plan aims to help state and local governments survive the loss of tax revenue. The state will get $3.2 billion. County and local governments will get $2.5 billion. Schools in the state are set to get more than $2 billion in all. As for the check you might get, it hinges on income. If you make less than $75,000 a year or $150,000 as a couple, you'll get the full $1,400 and $1,400 more for each child or adult dependent. You can also claim a tax credit of up to $1,600 per child.
Child care tax, the tax incentives there are really bigger than anything we've seen in the past.
And we actually have a calculator linked in the first story on wishtv.com this morning that will help you figure out exactly how much stimulus money you and your family can expect. The Marion County Health Department is giving the okay for in-person learning at Marion County schools. Department Director Dr. Virginia Caine says wearing masks and maintaining 3 feet of social distance is still required. They'll also work on eliminating virus spread if somebody gets sick.
You have to have what's called very robust contact tracing available. So in case a child or a teacher maybe become positive, it doesn't mean that it comes from the school setting, but it could be outside the school. We need to be able to jump on that really quickly and make sure we're preventing any spread.
Earlier this month, Indianapolis Public Schools announced that middle and high school students will return to classrooms on April 5th. Veterans in Indiana can start getting the COVID-19 vaccine on Monday. Veterans Health Indiana says its community VA clinics are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can schedule your shot at Bloomington, Indy West, Martinsville, Shelbyville, Terre Haute, Wakeman, and West Lafayette. There is a phone number to schedule an appointment. You can also call 211. All clinics provide the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And when you watch March Madness, you may notice small electronic devices players, coaches, and other people are wearing. They're part of the contact tracing plans for the NCAA tournament. The device is about the size of a domino. It can be worn around the wrist, around the neck on a lanyard, or placed in a pocket. It collects and transmits information with other devices and records how close people are to each other and for how long. If someone develops COVID-19, developers say that the device will actually help them figure out who else should quarantine.
That data is then uploaded to our readout station and then to the exposure management software. In the case that there is a positive test, medical officials, the local health department per se, could actually go into that software and then easily determine who is at high risk of being close to the virus.
There will be daily monitoring. Connexon makes the devices. The company tells us many college athletes have been wearing the devices most of the year. And there's a way to support locally owned businesses in Boone County during March Madness. It's called Bites of Boone County Hoops Edition. 28 restaurants are offering special meals or other discounts. The event runs from March 16th through the 28th. And today, the Boilermaker men make their Big Ten tournament debut. Cross your fingers. We need an Indiana team to perform well today. This afternoon, Purdue is going for its 6th straight win and first step to a conference crown. The team is getting hyped. They've been pretty active on social media ahead of coming to Indianapolis. Purdue does tip off against Ohio State at 2 this afternoon. The Boilers won the last matchup with the Buckeyes, a 2-point victory in Columbus. All right, now to a stretch of Indiana teams not doing so great at the Big Ten. IU is out ×2. The women's woes in a moment, but first the men's results. The Hoosiers led Rutgers by 11 early, gave it all up by halftime, had a stretch of 9 minutes in the second half without a field goal. Final score 61-50. Hoosiers' hope for a tournament bid are done. News 8's Charlie Clifford was at Lucas Oil Stadium for the game. He looks at what's next for head coach Archie Miller and the team.
The only debate left for IU this season is the school ready to cut a check to end Archie Miller's tenure 3 seasons early. The Hoosier-dominated crowd on Thursday night voicing its displeasure as IU walked off the floor to a season sweep by Rutgers, 6 straight losses, and most glaring, the NCAA tournament in Indy without IU.
I'm not entering any offseason wondering, if I'm going to be back. And those decisions are made way higher to me. My job is to run the program. We're doing our thing here. I talk to our administration daily. We're in a good spot. The message to anybody right now is at the end of the day, we'll be fine. We've got good guys who battled. And like every program at this point in time, you have to take inventory.
It's very frustrating losing the first round, making the NCAA tournament. But, you just have to keep building on what we're doing. Trusting each other, trusting the coaches, and just keep moving forward. Not dwell on the past, just look to the future.
I don't think it was anything to do with the fact that our offense was the way that it was, or blaming coaches or anything. I feel like we had a lot of good shots. I feel like we had layups, but we just point blank missed them. We missed 8 free throws down the stretch.
IU held without a field goal for the final 9+ minutes of action against Rutgers. The key number moving forward, 10. It's going to cost the school $10+ million to buy out Archie Miller's contract if they want to make a coaching change this offseason. At Lucas Oil Stadium, Charlie Clifford, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And the Creighton Blue Jays were too much for the Butler Bulldogs last night. Nothing went right for the Bulldog men's team in the quarterfinal game. Creighton got to an early lead in the first half and then just blew the doors open in the second. Butler lost 87-56. The Bulldogs finished the season 10-15, its first losing record since the 2013-14 season, which was their first in the Big East. State police are releasing details about a deadly shooting by troopers. Investigators say Columbus police tried to stop Martin Lewis Douglas Jr. from Nineveh because of concerns that he was armed, despondent, and might hurt somebody. Officers say when they finally got Douglas to stop by flattening his tires, he fired about 15 shots from a high-powered rifle at them, then drove off into a cornfield. That prompted a 5-hour standoff, which ended when troopers say Douglas got another rifle from his truck and SWAT team officers shot him. There is a major push for new gun control laws in Congress. 2 bills passed through the House yesterday. The Enhanced Background Checks Act passed by a narrow margin of 9 votes, and the Bipartisan Background Checks Act passed with a 24-vote margin. The bills would require background checks on all firearms sales and transfers and extends the review time for gun purchases to 10 days. Similar bills made it through the House in 2019, but did not pass through the Senate.
The legislative graveyard is over. H.R. 8 will be on the floor of the Senate, and we will see where everybody stands. No more hopes and prayers, thoughts and prayers. A vote is what we need. A vote, not thoughts and prayers.
Indiana's 2 Democratic representatives voted in favor of both bills. Our 7 Republican representatives voted against both. Congressman Jim Baird voted no, saying these gun control bills punish law-abiding Americans rather than focus on criminals breaking the law. Congressman Larry Bucshon also voted no, saying the only thing these bills will accomplish is making it harder for law-abiding citizens to legally purchase guns and exercise their Second Amendment rights.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
Jury selection is moving very slowly for the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd. Including alternates, the trial still needs 9 more jurors. Yesterday, only 1 was chosen. Juror number 6 is a man who says he's a fan of true crime podcasts, has seen video of the deadly arrest, and expressed strong opinions about both Chauvin and Floyd. Opening statements are slated to start no sooner than March 29th. The judge yesterday did reinstate a 3rd-degree murder charge for Chauvin. And today is sentencing day for Buster Hernandez, a man convicted of long-distance crimes that terrorized teenage girls in central Indiana and shut down schools and a mall. In 2015, a man using the fake name Brian Kill used stolen images and social media to publicly threaten violence, including bomb threats that led Plainfield and Danville high schools to close. Hernandez is from California. He pleaded guilty to 40 charges, including child pornography, threats to extort, threats to use bombs, and coercion. We expect to hear a sentence at any moment this morning. He could get life in prison. An impeachment investigation will move forward against New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Cuomo's accused of different types of inappropriate behavior from 6 women. The New York State Assembly Speaker approved the investigation, calling on a Democratic assemblyman to lead and authorize subpoena documents and witness interviews. The Speaker says this will not interfere with the state's Attorney General's independent investigation. New York City's mayor is calling for Cuomo to step down.
These 6 women have come forward with such powerful, painful stories. And particularly this most recent report is just disqualifying. He just can't serve as governor anymore.
Cuomo is also accused of hiding the true number of New York nursing home residents who died of COVID-19. Today is the grand opening of the Monon Trail Bridge over 38th Street. The nearly $4.6 million project is in response to safety complaints from trail users. They used to have to cross 6 lanes of traffic. Now they'll travel 20 feet above it. The city first proposed the project in the fall of 2019. The ribbon cutting is set for this morning at 10 o'clock. Yesterday, we talked here on the podcast about the proposed multi-million-dollar sports complex in Brownsburg. Well, it's been tabled. It would be on 106 acres north of town center, costing $16 million. It's smaller than, but some say would rival, Westfield's Grand Park. The bond money for construction would come from revenue from the economic development income tax. 3 people explained why they're against it during a council meeting last night.
I would like to see this for the town too. Who would not want something great for our community and our children? My children too. But the plan's got to work. We got to be fiscally solvent, or we run the risk of being something like Anderson.
Meanwhile, Brownsburg's town manager is in favor of it.
We think it's a great quality of life addition to the town of Brownsburg to go with our outstanding school district, to support the kids coming up there, giving them the recreational side.
The town council says it will now hold a public forum on the project next week and will take a vote March 25th. Netflix is testing a new feature to crack down on password sharing. Here's how it works. When a user selects a profile on a shared Netflix account, a pop-up will ask them to verify the account through text or email. Users can also choose to delay the process, but Netflix says the message will show up again later. And if the user won't or can't complete the process, they'll get a prompt to set up a new account. Testing is starting with viewers using the Netflix TV app. Now to business headlines. Stimulus bill has a hidden student loan tax benefit. Student loan forgiveness will not trigger tax bills for borrowers anymore. Formerly, any student loan debt canceled by the government was considered taxable. That was changed as part of the stimulus bill passed this week. Novavax's COVID-19 vaccine was 96% effective in preventing cases caused by the original version of the coronavirus. The vaccine was also about 86% effective in protecting against the UK variant. There were no cases of severe illnesses or deaths among those who got the vaccine. The vaccine could be cleared for use in the United States as soon as May. Amazon has opened 11 Amazon Fresh stores across the country with plans for at least 28 more. An Amazon spokesperson confirmed the location of 5 future stores, but declined to comment on the rest of the locations identified by Bloomberg from planning and permitting documents, state licensing roles, and news reports. Amazon used detailed analyses of shopping habits to help sketch out a list of 15,000 products to fill the store shelves. New Yelp data showed nearly 500,000 businesses have opened in America during the coronavirus pandemic, an optimistic sign of the state of the U.S. economic recovery. That's down just 14% compared with the year-ago period. More than 15% of the new entities were restaurant and food businesses. However, Yelp also said more than 260,800 businesses that had closed due to COVID restrictions. A new contender in the plant-based meat substitute is offering a replacement for a high-end cut of steak. Juicy Marbles claims its new plant-based filet mignon are ultra tender and mimic the muscle texture. This kind of grosses me out. It mimics the muscle texture and marbling of traditional steaks by aligning and layering fibers from the bottom up with all natural ingredients. It's not cheap. It comes to $37 a serving, so it costs you about as much as you can get a filet in a restaurant. But I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion, if I'm going to eat something vegetarian, I'm fine if it tastes and looks like vegetables. What I don't know. Weigh in. Let me know what you think. Send me a Facebook message. I want to hear your thoughts here. And tomorrow marks the first celebration of many at an iconic Indiana gym. The Hickory Husker bus returns to the Hoosier Gym in Knightstown. The bus and gym were in pivotal scenes in the movie Hoosiers, of course. You know, this film 35 years ago now. The bus is set to roll in Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. The events are part of the 100th anniversary of the gym, which was built in 1921 to hold games and community events. As, of course, we've reported throughout on Daybreak, on Wish TV, the U.S. Senate passed a resolution Wednesday honoring the landmark. And finally, this has to be my favorite story of the morning, and it has now made some weekend plans for me and my family. Indiana sugar makers are hard at work right now on the syrup supply for 2021. There's a really short period where they can tap the trees and get the sap and make maple syrup. We're headed into Indiana Maple Syrup Weekend, and it's when you get the chance to actually visit one of these sugar camps and learn all about the process. So it's just like 2, maybe 3 months a year, if they're lucky, that this is actually the right time to do all of this. So sugar makers take advantage of the freezing nights and then warmer days to make maple syrup. Nina Criscolo visited Rutherford Sugar Camp in Newcastle to learn all about the process.
Pancakes, a morning mainstay. They're nothing, though, without sweet, sticky maple syrup. But the trek from tap to table is a long one.
The process of making syrup is simple. It's evaporation. The procedure is complicated because of all the steps involved.
Dave Hamilton has nearly 60 years of sugaring under his belt, and this sugar camp has been running thousands of gallons of sap for 110 years.
2 drips to a heartbeat is pretty good.
Typically, it would take 43 gallons of sugar water to get down to just 1 gallon of syrup. But with advances in technology here at Rutherford Sugar Camp, just 11 gallons of sugar water are needed to get down to that 1 tasty gallon.
It's pulling sap from these 6 lines.
Those advances at Rutherford Sugar Camp include a vacuum system called a sap ladder and reverse osmosis to cut down time before the final stage of cooking.
It's not quite ready yet.
It's a scientific process with the sticking point of reaching 7.5 degrees above boiling and then keeping it there until...
I think we're there, fellas. There's that red line.
It's a team effort.
I couldn't do this by myself. Impossible. Gary is the official whisker. Melvin is the chief canner.
And then what you get is a byproduct that's extremely healthy for you and tastes really good. Maple syrup's full of vitamins. B12, it's full of manganese, magnesium, it's higher in calcium than milk.
And some say there's something in the Indiana sugar water.
We make better syrup than Vermont, okay? Let's just get right down to it.
We think we make about the best.
So the next time you sit down to that stack of pancakes, remember our Hoosier sugar makers.
Again, that was Nina Criscolo reporting. You do have the opportunity to get your inside look at sugar making. Tomorrow and Sunday is Indiana Maple Syrup Weekend. There's about a dozen sugar camps across the state, many in the central Indiana area, that they're going to open their properties up for you to visit. And if you're thinking of tapping a maple tree, trying your hand at sugar making, the Indiana Maple Syrup Association is a great resource for information and support. We've got all of that information for you on our website, wishtv.com. It's very important that you check and read the fine print for each of these sugar camps because some of them are operating a little differently because of COVID. So some are only open on Saturday, some aren't offering samples. So just really keep that in mind that you know exactly where you're going, what their hours are, and what they're offering before you make your plans. But they're mostly all open, so that's the good news. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling.
Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast.
The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.